Greetings, 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 greetings. What's going on? What's going on? Lineage Wago on. This is your brother Chief Kalanago Flying Eagle. How is everybody doing? Um, just doing a little video, man. And just want you to listen. Just listen to the sound. The still of the night. Listen, you hear the crickets. Little insignificant insects, and that we think is insignificant, but they make amazing sounds. All right, amazing sounds. Right now, the moon is not out, because it's the hurricane season. So sometimes it gets a little cloudy, and you don't get to see the moon as such. But I think within the next, I would say, what you would probably call a week or two, then the moon will actually come out. There may be a full moon, and you'll get to see the stars at night. It is just so gorgeous. It's beautiful. Like, you see that little light that you see out there, like I'm blocking it right now, and I'm gonna put my hand down. That's like literally the moon. It's behind like a dark cloud. You know what I'm saying? And yes, yes, Lisa, it's really that dark. But of course, when you go down into, like, I'm up the hill, right? So of course we have electricity, as you could see, but outside, it's really that dark. But if I go down further down, like the lower section of the village, they have a few street lights on the main road. But when you come into the cut, further down, like, you'll see like a little patch of light down there. Yes, they have that, right? But it's really that dark. And it's beautiful. Like, I remember just growing up. Let me tell y'all a story, right? I actually went to it's a place called Daly Seas, right? Daly Seas. Daly is what is Daly's, but some people say Daly Seas, right? And when you have Daly's, and then when you go further down, there's a place called Victoria, and then when you go further down, there's a place called La Roche. All right, so um, my grandmother, is from Daly Seas, right? So my grand aunt, was the one, like, I literally almost, like, we used to call her like, she was like a grandmother, because my grandmother went to England for like a very long time, right? But I'm saying all that to say it was always that dark, all right? And back then, I mean, there was less light. Okay, there was less light. What we used for lights was, or what my grandmother, or my grand aunt rather, what she used for light was called a lantern. Okay, some of you may know the name of it, like, it's a lantern, right? A lamp. Okay, but the lamps were in the house. Now, when we went outside, we would have what's called a bullseye. Now, a bullseye is a bottle, okay, and in the bottle you have kerosene, and then you would take like a piece of cloth, and you would wrap it, like, make a little knot, and then you would put it in the head of the bottle, okay, with the kerosene in there, and you would tip it so that the cloth gets wet, and then you lit it up. All right, and that's what we call a bullseye. And we would use that to go hunt, what we call manikou. Now, in the States, well, we still call it possum, right? Possum, but we call it manikou. Manikou is the indigenous name. And then you have something similar to what we call manikou. It's called guti. It's in the same family, right? So we used to go hunt that with the bullseye and the dogs. All right. But let me tell y'all a story. Okay. We had a neighbor that lived like close to the main road, okay, in La Roche, right? But in La Roche, we lived all the way up on the hill. Well, I was born in the city, but every time, like, there was a summer break, or a Christmas break, or any type of break, I wanted to be in the country, because I just love the country. Okay, I love the country. Maybe because I was my grand aunt's favorite. I don't know. I hope my siblings don't hear me saying that, but Anyway, I always loved going to the country. All right. I had the most fun in the country. So the story is, my neighbors, they lived like, close to the road, okay, the main street. And we lived in the cut. All right. Now, mind you, there's no light. I had no bullseye. I had none of that. And I'm telling you, sometime I would leave their home. I'm like about like 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. I would leave their home and I would count from 1 to 10. Okay. And I'm telling you, by the time I got to our house, you would have swore I was Hussein Bolt. I'm telling you, because man, I was sprinting for real. That's how dark it was. I wasn't afraid of the dark, but just stories that my grand aunt used to tell us, okay, about witches. And of course, witches, we don't call them witches, we call them what we call them sukuya. Okay, so a witch in the indigenous, you know um you know patois in Dominica, we call them sukunya, right? Sukunya. And then the male version, a male witch, we call them lugawu, right? So we would hear a lot of stories about lugawu and sukunya, right? And I'm telling you, I wasn't afraid of the dark, but I was like, ain't no lugawu or sukunya catching me, because I'm doing like a buck 20 in the darkness. All right. And I'm sprinting home. I ain't trying to get caught. All right. So, nah. And I'm telling you, it got so dark when I'm going home. I don't know if my mind was playing tricks on me, but it's like I'm seeing people in front of me. But it was just in my head though, because there was nobody in front of me, but it was so dark. You like literally seeing shadows of people in front of you. I guess it's because of the stories we've been hearing. Okay. And fearful of that. All right. And when I got home, man, every time I get home, my heart would be beating so fast. Okay. But I just have to share that story, that story with y'all, man. And so earlier today, I went to Delices, right? And I went up the hill, where my grand aunt was. Like I said, that was like my grandmother. And the house is tore down, because she transitioned years ago. And they just abandoned the house. You know what I mean? And you have like weeds and all type of trees, all sorts of trees. So I told one of the dudes that one of my childhood friends. I told him, listen, I'm gonna come back. When I come back, I'm gonna pay him to clear everything out. All right, clear everything out, and I'm gonna rebuild on that part. All right, because like I told y'all before, I want to have a few spots. So when a couple of my brothers and sisters in the United States, when they need a break, they want to come to the islands. At least you have a brother in Dominica. You know what I'm saying? So I'm setting things up. So that would be one of the spots. You feel me? So I'm gonna set that up and build on that, man. And that was just all the fruits and the smell of the ocean. It just brought back so many memories. But yeah, that's how dark it is out here. And you see the moon out there is coming out kind of just a little bit, right? The moon is coming out. Yeah. And here's another story, right? Um, I had an uncle, and those stories are real. I'm telling y'all real stories. I had an uncle. He used to get up, I would say like about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and he would go milk his cows. Okay. And he saw a dog one time. He saw a dog that's tall like a man, but he knew it was a lugawu. A lugawu is a male witch. Okay. So he's left-handed. There's an old adage, what I'm saying, that's in stories in Dominica. All right. Witches and lugawu people, those type of entities, they don't really mess with left-handed people. You know what I'm saying? So he was left-handed, so he was never scared of nothing. All right. But I don't know if, again, that's just stories our elders used to tell us. So I guess that made left people who were left-handed brave. Okay. So he's seen a dog that was tall like a man. I'm talking about like tall, but he ain't paid no mind. All right. I've heard stories of people. who's seen like two $5 bills fighting. Like, yo, it may sound funny to y'all, but I'm telling you, those are real stories. And I remember one time, my grand aunt, the one, like I said, she was like my grandmother, right? Because my mother's mother went to England like for years, so she literally raised us like her grandchildren. Okay, when so I remember one time we in the house talking. Okay, it was probably like about 11 o'clock at night, and like I said, there was no electricity, right? So we had the lamp, the lantern. There was a bullseye. You know, so we talking. So all of a sudden, you know, my grand aunt, I don't know if she felt an energy, but then she saw what we call a label. Now, a label is I'm I'm I- I'm assuming that they have them in certain parts of the United States, probably in Louisiana and you know probably certain parts of Georgia. But it's almost like a beetle, but it lights up at night. Okay, it lights up at night. So if anybody know the name of that, go ahead and post it. All right, but we call it label. All right, so it lights up at night. No, we call it, yeah, but we label, and we have another name. They call genton. So we call it genton. All right. So she saw a label or a genton in the corner. So I'm thinking like it's a regular label, right? But it was a little huge for its size, for the regular size. So with that being said, all of a sudden, my grand aunt, she was like, yo, she started, speaking patois, you know what I'm saying? And she told us that's a witch and she know who it is. All right. Yo, my grand aunt took her clothes off and chased the label. And all of a sudden we heard something on the roof like it was running. Okay. Man, like that was so scary. It was so scary. But it's just so many stories like growing up, around, whether it's around a fire, sometimes, it would be around, what we call a coal pit, where we dig a hole and we burn some wood. So we call that a coal pit. Okay. And they would tell us stories. Or like I said, in the house, whether you light a bullseye or a lantern, but they would tell us all sorts of stories, man. And it was literally stories about witches and lugau and all those different things they seen. So can you imagine me as a child going to my friend's house, living there about 9 o'clock, and it's already dark, and then I have to be Hussein Bolt to get home? Man, please, I wasn't trying to hear that. All right, I wasn't trying to hear that. Yeah, it's like a lightning bug. It's like a lightning bug. It lights up at night. It lights up, it goes off. It lights up, it goes off. Right. So we call it la belle. Okay, and then there's another version called the genton. I don't think the genton lights up though, but the label it lights up. But that night, that label was a witch, and she was literally in the corner, listening to everything we was talking about, everything we was talking about. So my grand aunt took off her clothes, man, and chased that thing, yo, and we heard a big ruckus on the roof, like it was trying to get out. All right, but she knew exactly who it was because the next day she went to confront her, and the woman didn't say anything. All right. She didn't say anything. So I tell people, man, those stories are real. Those stories are real. No joke. Okay. No joke. So yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. Well, I think it is, but I used to enjoy them stories, man. So, like I said, I just came back to Dominic on vacation, so I'm leaving here on Sunday, so I'm gonna go back to the States for like a couple of days, and then on the 26th, I'm going to London. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful. For those of you, who haven't gotten a chance to, come to the islands, just hey, save up some money and just, take a vacation, man. Treat yourself. I don't know how many of you have actually, bathe in a real ocean. Okay, like I'm talking about a salt sea ocean, like the Atlantic Ocean or the Caribbean Sea. But it's right next door to me where I'm at. So and in like a real flowing river, So all those things, if you haven't experienced that, well, trust me, you haven't experienced life, because earlier today I went to the Carib Reserve, what you call the Kalinago Reserve, right? And I seen some young children, like no older than 10, but they just enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? Like they lay down, in a stream, right? Right across the street, there's a stream. They lay down in the stream and they eating their food. And it just brought smiles to my face. And they're so happy, you know, the joy, and it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling, man. So if you haven't experienced that, I encourage you to, experience that, because what's going to happen is eventually we're going to have to go back to nature. We're going to have to, because these people are creating not just robots, but they're making people more robotic. You know what I mean? Insensitive. They're getting people desensitized. All right. And we got to get away from this type of people. We have to get away from them. We have to go back to nature, sharing and caring and loving. You got to be your brother or your sister's keeper. You should be able to go to your neighbor. If you ain't got nothing to drink, and get something to drink. If you ain't got nothing to cook, you should be able to go to your neighbor and get some food, and get some food to cook. That was our culture. That's how we lived. That's how we lived. But they got us so divided, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. You would rather talk about your brother or sister if they ain't got nothing to eat. You would rather shame them. You would rather videotape situations. You know what I mean? So we have to get away from all that, man, because the type of age that we're living in right now is not gonna fly in nature. It's not. It's not gonna fly in nature. If that's your personality, if that's the way you are, how you are built right now, you are gonna be destroyed inside out, because nature is not having that. And that's for real, for real. All right. So we got to go back to that, man. We got to start caring for each other again. And because the system knows this, right? They putting all these things out here where you see our men and our women, they are at war with each other. They are always battling. They're always competing. Why do you think that is? Because these people know astrology, okay? They know what the cosmos are teaching, and they know it's time for us to unite. They know it's time for us to uplift our women and build our women. Why? Because we're stepping back into the solar. In fact, we're not stepping back. We're actually in the solar cycle right now. And in the solar cycle, the feminine energy has to be uplifted. Okay, because the sun is feminine. And they know this. So what they're doing is they're still manipulating the moon energy, which is the man, El Mano, to manipulate the women. So now you see men and women fighting each other, and they don't know why they're doing it. It just seems so natural, but they don't know it is an energy of the sun and the moon that's literally battling each other right now. But I have some news for y'all brothers. Okay, y'all are being affected by the moon because the moon is masculine. All right, and you're here competing with the women, competing with the feminine energy. Let me tell you something. You're going to lose. You are going to lose, because why? The moon gets light from the sun. That's why the woman has always been the one uplifting men, always picking up the man. You always hear a brother say, "Oh, well, I need a sister that's gonna, why can a sister can help a brother build so he could get back on his feet?" Well, in the first place, why are you off your feet? I know in life things happen, but the point I'm making is it has always been the sun that gave light to the moon. So it has always been the feminine energy that picks up the masculine energy. But they got y'all twisted thinking that the sun is masculine. No, it's not. The sun is feminine. All right. And that's why it's the soul. And it's always the soul. Our soul is feminine. You feel me? So y'all got to learn these things, man, and stop competing out here with these women. Y'all going to lose, man. You're going to lose. You will not win. Stop. Okay? We have to uplift them. Let them shine. It's their time. Okay? It's their time. You had 6,000 years to rule with your lunar gods and your negative energy and destroying the world with your patriotic systems. All right? Now it's time for the solar cycle, the reign of the sun. So the feminine got to step up, but it cannot just be any type of feminine energy. No, we cannot have that toxic feminine energy. No, even they themselves will be destroyed inside out. See, y'all don't know what's going on because we have to prepare ourselves for the Capricorn age, which is the heaven on earth. And if y'all cannot get this, trust me, you will not experience it. You will not experience it. So keep dealing with and indulging with this low vibrational frequency. Keep go on, keep on, keep on. You're going to destroy yourself. You're going to self-destruct because the universe ain't playing that with y'all. Okay? So this is a warning. I'm just letting y'all know what's going on. All right? That's the reason why you see so many men and women competing right now. Okay? Because it's El Mano, the moon, fighting to maintain the lunar cycle. But it cannot happen because now we are in the solar cycle and it's time for the feminine energy, the sun, to rise and give back life, light, positive energy. That's what we are stepping into right now. But keep in mind, within us, the male man and the female man, there's both energies, all right? There's both the masculine and the feminine energy. The only thing in me is the masculine energy is more powerful, okay? And in the male and in the female man, the feminine energy is more powerful. You feel me? But because I know these things, I'm not allowing the feminine energy or the solar cycle to turn me into a fruit. You feel me? And that's why you see a lot of brothers turning into fruits right now because they don't comprehend what's going on. And because the so-called people who rule, they know this. They're putting things in the food, they're putting things in the water, they're putting things in the air, okay, to confuse these men more. Not realizing that stepping into or acknowledging your feminine energy, it doesn't mean you got a sword fight. That's not what it means. But because they're confused and they don't have the knowledge, they think they're feeling something and they just don't know what it means. So they start thinking they got to be a woman. They start thinking they got to start sword fighting. No, that's not what it means, man. All it means is that you have to become a little more, sympathetic. You have to become a little more caring. You have to start uplifting and protecting the women. That's what it means. It doesn't mean to compete with them. Okay? It doesn't mean bend over and take man. That's not what it means, man. That's not what it means. So y'all don't know what you're feeling. You cannot comprehend it. You cannot articulate it. So now you out here talking about, well, you want to be a woman. You out here talking about you got to take a man and you're a man. No, man. That's not what is supposed to be happening. But that's what the media is promoting because they know the shift already took place and that the male man has to become more sensitive to the female man. You feel me? And because they know this, they are taking advantage of the situation and people out here confused. And it's really sad. Okay, it's really sad. All right. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here. Just listen to let me just be quiet for like about 60 seconds so you could just enjoy, the sound. All right, cool. So I'm wishing each and every one of you an amazing continuation. Happy sunrest. Man, listen. First things first, learn to love yourself. Learn to love yourself. Learn to appreciate yourself. Give yourself a few hugs and tell yourself, I love you, and mean it. Okay? If you have done things in the past to hurt people, forgive yourself. And then for the people that you could reach out to, ask for forgiveness. If you can't get in touch with them, put it out there in the universe. Okay? All the people I've hurt, knowingly and unknowingly, I ask for their forgiveness. I ask for the forgiveness of the universe and put nothing but love and positive energy out into the universe. Because if that's not what you're doing right now, like I said, You're going to destroy yourself from the inside out. You're going to burn. And I'm not talking about the hell that the hell they're talking about is an illusion, but that hell is within you. It's a burning sensation where you will not feel joy. Okay? You will not feel joy because joy comes from within. And you will never experience that because you will be facing your own hell that you created for yourself. All right? There is no Satan or devil with a pitchfork in a red outfit waiting for you in no burning fire. That's an illusion. That's the, no. Okay? That hell is inside of you. That's going to eat you out because you're not getting in tune with the right frequency to bring back that love and positive energy back here on earth. And that's what's going to create the heaven on earth. You feel me? So start working on yourself. Know that anything that you think of, anything that you speak, it becomes your reality. So watch your words, watch your thoughts, and grow. Change your mindset, okay, to renew your mind to become the individual that you should be. All right, period. So y'all have a good one. I love y'all for real. All right, talk to y'all soon. Take care.